Jeff and Jeremy. It's like a radiogasm.
I said, hey, babe, check it out on the podcast.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
and Spotify.
All this is going viral.
Got some new project he's working on. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to talk about it. But first, I mean, we haven't got to this yet today. I know Scott's touched on it in the news a little bit, but man, we got a body in a pond or a lake. They call it lake because it's Black Lake, but they're big ponds. They find a body. He's been there since 2018. Think of everybody that's been golfing out there that hit a ball into that water and thinking, should I get the ball retriever out?
So was it in a water hazard or was it in? Because there's some lakes out there.
Lakes, okay. No, Lopez is a lake.
No. But there's some lakes that are not part of the golf course out there.
You mean ponds
that you can like walk and hike to? They're not part of the golf course at all. They're not water hazards. They're not built for the golf course. They're actual lakes that are out there. If you look at like Google Maps. And you look just a little...
You're telling me there's a lake out there you could put a boat in?
No, I don't think you could put a boat in. Maybe a kayak or something like that, if you could get it there. But it's like you have to hike to it.
I've played Black Lake.
It's not in the lake, but it was in the water hazard. I was at the golf course, is what you're saying?
It says from a lake, according to the news, from a lake at a Napomo golf course. And they keep showing Black Lake when they're doing the story. So I'm guessing it
was on the property.
Yes, they call it lakes, but I mean, come on, they're ponds. So I guess the story sounds like, and they haven't released if it's a male, if it's a female. They haven't released the victim's name, but they did release the two people that they thought were guilty of doing it. A woman who they charged with murder and a guy that they charged as an accomplice. I was talking to Scott, and he was telling me that these two just got brought up on some drug and weapons charges, the two that they arrested for this murder back just a few weeks ago in August. So who knows what the situation is? But I mean, according to the news, this is like right out of Dateline. I mean, they dismembered the body, they put it in the pond, and it's been there for 2 years. And I was just thinking, man,
do we know that it's been there for 2 years, or has it recently been dumped and they've been sitting on the body pieces? Because I can't imagine that 2 years can go by and there's no maintenance done to the water hazard.
So according to the news, I think it's been there since 2018.
The guy's been dead since 2018. But who knows?
They don't know how long the body's been in there yet. They don't even know if it's male or female yet. So, or they haven't released that information yet. So, yes, we don't have that information. But typically, you don't just chop a body up. I guess if you had a freezer, right? I mean,
I don't know.
This is getting very gory and graphic.
You saw Dead to Me, right?
I've watched a lot of Dateline.
Dead to Me.
Oh, that's right. They kept him in the freezer. Until what happened? Something happened. Oh, the power went out, and they freaked out because he was going to thaw.
And the rats were underneath the freezer.
Lawn Boy Kevin.
No, Mike writes in. Mike wants to know if it was Lawn Boy Kevin. No, different golf course. Was not. I don't think it was Lawn Boy Kevin because I've heard from Lawn Boy Kevin in the last week or two, and so I know it wasn't Lawn Boy Kevin. But pretty crazy. Pretty crazy story. And to think, what if you were out there? Because, some of those people have the ball retrievers, and they're really big about getting their balls back. Me, I'm like, whatever. I don't buy that fancy of balls. I'm not that great of a golfer. I lose a lot of them.
No, you can get a lot of balls. You get a lot of balls out of water hazard with a water retriever.
Yeah.
I bought my mom one.
I wonder
specifically so I could use it. Here, I bought you a ball retriever. Happy birthday. And then, hey, can I borrow your ball retriever? Go into a course with a lot of hazards. I've done that a few times. Bought my parents.
I wonder if that's how they discovered the body. I wonder if somebody had a ball retriever and they were getting their ball and they brought up a finger or a hand or something.
I don't know.
I know that's what
I'm
you're
hoping
speculating
for because you're all about.
I'm a speculator.
The morbid is what you like to focus on.
What's the guy's name? Keith. Hey, it was a small town.
Oh, Keith.
Can't think of his
Morrison.
name. Morrison. Jeez.
I keep wanting to say Keith Richardson. I know that's not it. That's a different sounding guy.
I want Keith Morrison to come do a story on it. It's got to have good details if Keith Morrison's going to show up. Or that other guy, the fat guy.
It was a pretty big story yesterday.
No, it's a huge story. It's such a big story that the bank robbery that happened in Santa Maria, they didn't really, it was kind of there was bank robbery, whatever. But this is a big story. Lawn Boy Kevin, by the way, writing in.
Lawn Boy Kevin.
Still alive, not my course. Yeah, we know that.
Get him on the phone.
But he does
quick.
know the superintendent there.
Get him on the phone real quick.
Well, he's probably driving a lawnmower or
Well,
something.
that's fine.
He's like, I'm driving a lawnmower. I can't talk to you. It's too noisy. Well, turn the lawnmower off.
I just want to know about water hazard maintenance. Because I can't imagine that a water hazard does not get maintained. I mean, there's pumps and stuff in there to keep the water circulating so it doesn't get all gross and nasty. And
his golf course has water, right? They probably
he's
have to
at
maintain
Morro
it.
Bay, so I don't know.
What's happening?
Hey, what's the deal with a water hazard typically? Is it maintained? I mean, for these
How
body
often
parts,
is it maintained?
Yeah.
Well, like, what are you looking for? I mean, you'll usually go around the edges, clear the edge of the ponds, and typically you'll have to put something in it to kind of keep the weeds out so it'll stay clear, because you'll get a lot of, like, duckweed and stuff like that growing in it, and moss or algae. So you want to keep that stuff out. But I'm wondering if they had a diver going to get golf balls, and that's how they found it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they do, huh? Somebody dives in and...
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't be happy if I found that looking for golf balls.
No, that would freak me out for sure.
Yeah, what's the diver usually get paid to go get the golf balls?
Yeah, usually they'll get them and then they'll sell them back to the shop for, like, I don't know, a quarter a ball or something like that. And
I always buy those balls too. That's my game right there. I look for the good ones, but
You're not expecting that when you're just going to make some extra change.
Yeah.
To run across that.
so when they do it, does somebody just go in with a snorkel, or is it full on dive gear? Are these ponds that
Typically
deep?
it's full on scuba gear. So he'll have like an air tank and like an inner tube will follow him with it, and then he'll have like a bag or two that he's filling with golf balls.
Wow.
Okay, but
And then they'll go and they'll set that on the side and then go back out and get the rest of them.
Now in your text it says somebody out there. Have you heard anything about which pond they found him in?
No, I haven't spoke to him in a while.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking of sending him a text, like what's going on out there. But
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's busy.
getting enough of it. Yeah.
Wow. Have you played golf out there in the last 2 years?
I haven't been out there in forever.
kids, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We got life, man.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way.
Hold on. I want to guess what you're doing right now because the sound makes me think that you're spreading fertilizer.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Hey.
Hey, how about that?
Secret sound. Jeremy's the winner of the secret sound today.
I'm getting my steps in.
Getting your steps in.
It sounds like I remember that sound because we had one of those old school fertilizer spreaders when I was a kid. That's good stuff. All right, man. We'll let you get back to it. See you, Lawn Boy Kevin.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Lawn
too.
Boy Kevin.
There he goes. Hold on. Come on now.
Lawn Boy
I'm
Kevin.
just surprised that, that you would be able to go 2 years without somebody going to the bottom of a water hazard.
I mean, it really
to get the
sounds like,
balls or
for the most
whatever.
part, if the pond and the pumps are running and everything's fine, then nobody's going to go mess with it unless they want to get balls out. Unless something goes wrong, then they got to go in.
How the pump keep running with all that debris down there?
Well, they probably didn't get it by the pump. I don't know.
I mean, these water hazards are not big,
Oh.
I mean, they're not huge bodies of water. I mean, maybe this one was. I don't know.
It's Halloween.
Insane.
People are going to now think it's haunted.
Insane stuff.
Maybe it is already. Who knows? All right. So yeah, that was. I saw that story. I'm like, wow, this is pretty exciting. I know you know some people out there. Have you called anybody?
No, I haven't talked to anyone.
Probably not a good idea.
Well, I just got word last night. I mean, it's
If Lawn Boy Kevin texts us anything, we'll pass it along. Since he knows somebody.
racing team in the past, and they do smaller cars and smaller leagues and stuff like that. But now he figures, well, I got all this Nike money. Why don't I just go ahead and go all in? And I'm going to get Bubba Wallace in my steed, and that is the way I'm going to go with it. And it's good because NASCAR is ridiculed for the lack of a better term of having a good old boy fan base.
Oh, you mean diversity?
Yeah.
The lack thereof?
This should help. I mean, he's a champion for, he's a champion, period. And I don't know too many people that dislike Michael Jordan?
Well, I think no matter, I mean, as great of an athlete he is, he's just that great of a human. And so I think he's
there's some question marks there.
Really?
The gambling. And,
oh, what's wrong with gambling? Listen, everybody gambles, right? You gamble, I gamble. Everybody we know
gambles like
gambles.
Michael Jordan, but I mean, this is
well, I don't have his money. Otherwise, I probably would.
This is kind of a gamble for Michael Jordan.
Everything's a gamble. Just some of it's seen more PC than others, right? I mean, if you play the stock market, that's gambling. If you
if you buy the Charlotte Bobcats, that's
exactly, or a race team.
I guess they're the Hornets now. But
so I'm curious what race fans, NASCAR fans, think of this. You can text in if you want. You can call in 805-543-3693. The story coming out yesterday afternoon that Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin teaming up to start a race team, and Bubba Wallace will be the driver. And I mean, is this a good financial decision? Do NASCAR owners tend to make money? Obviously, you probably have to have a car that wins, right? You have to have a driver that can win to make money. And if you don't, then I mean, I would imagine this is very costly to maintain these cars, to go around the country, to have a facility, to have the staff, to do all that kind of stuff.
Does Denny Hamlin still race, or is he retired?
That would be a question for somebody who watches more NASCAR than me. 805-543-3693. Is Denny Hamlin still driving? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Let us know. Like you said, you can call or text there.
Yeah,
we'll come back.
He retired.
Black Crows from racing? From driving?
Yeah, 2018. I thought I was under the assumption that Denny Hamlin was still racing.
Ken says great people will always do great things in life and in play. Thanks for your input on that, Ken. And we're talking about Michael Jordan just going in with Denny Hamlin to start a NASCAR team. It's a one-car team right now, and Bubba Wallace. What do you know about Bubba Wallace? I know there's good guys and bad guys in NASCAR, and
I think right now Bubba Wallace is a good guy.
He's one of the better ones. He's not a troublemaker.
He raced for Richard Petty forever. I find it strange that they were able to just, pull him away from Richard Petty. Richard Petty's the NASCAR legend. And they're like, by the way, we're taking Bubba Wallace. And Richard Petty's like, okay, I guess so. Go ahead.
Gosh, there's so many. Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch. Is it Kyle Busch? I have a friend who likes Kyle Busch just because he picks fights.
I think Kyle Busch.
He's the troublemaker, right?
He retired the same time Denny Hamlin did.
Oh, is that right? Well, it says here. No, he says he drives the Toyota. He drives for Joe Gibbs Racing still.
Was it the other Busch that retired?
Kurt Busch still drives as well. He drives a Chevrolet. He drives for Chip Ganassi Racing. The Busch brothers. But Kyle, I think, is the one that was the troublemaker. Anyways, but Michael Jordan getting into that. So we say, cool, right on, man. We got somebody on the line here. Go ahead, man. What do you want to say?
Hey, I was just calling because that news clip you guys just played, that hurt my head, man.
Natural hair?
Yeah, the natural hair. I had to look that up on the internet.
So did I.
Read up on that. I cannot, I'm besides myself right now.
And a bill protecting natural hair has passed the House. ABC's Lionel Moise has more.
The U.S. House passed a measure banning hair discrimination. The Crown Act stands for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. California was the first state to ban natural hair discrimination, and several others, including Florida, New York, and New Jersey, followed suit. The bill would make natural hair discrimination illegal nationwide. It now heads to the U.S. Senate.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to the news.
I looked at. Go ahead and explain to Jeremy what it was, Johnny, because it's interesting.
They said natural hair discrimination, and I was like, okay, what? And so I had to stop, turn down the radio, pull over, and look it up on Google. And they're talking about how curly hair, like the Afro-style hair, has frequently been seen as unprofessional, unattractive, and unclean. And so now that there's a bill going to Senate to be passed to the point of where it's illegal to have discrimination, and I instantly thought to myself, so what if I open a restaurant and I want to call it Betty Blue Eyes or something like that, right? And not that I'm going to tell anybody they can't have the job, but they don't fit the requirements. I'd like to just hire people who have blue eyes just to fit my motif. Are we going to start sitting there and being a country to be so illegal that it's oh, well, you can't do that. You have to. And it's how entitled. I don't even know what to call it. Is it entitlement? Is it
Well, listen, I woke up this morning and I didn't, my hair's not done when I wake up. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, man, you look like hell. You better do your hair.
Yeah, I just think it's funny because here we have that, and how many times in our society? I mean, come on, Kid and Play, they had that big old tall one. Like, who's ever said that the afro was a bad thing? I mean, they were even making fun of it back in Spaceballs. Everybody loves it. Like, I don't understand.
I didn't know it was something that was discriminated against, but apparently maybe it is in other parts of the country. I don't know.
I just think it's funny that we've gotten to such a point that things like what texture the hair is, we're going to fight against the discrimination. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. My son likes to wear his shoes on the wrong feet. I wonder if there's going to be a bill passed. People
no, the people are just going to judge your son because that's uncomfortable. Nobody does that.
Kids are bullying
there's a lot of
him
things
because they
going
make
to the
fun
world. If anybody comes to check my son, they better not.
So you're telling me this whole thing, as I'm trying to listen to you guys back and forth here, is that somebody has curly hair felt like they were discriminated against?
Pretty much. It's the frequency of the fact that in the workplace, the afro has been seen, is the best way I can put it. That style kind of hair, that curliness, that texture of hair has been discriminated in the point of, you can't, it's unprofessional. But I say to that, I have a brother who's got long hair down to his ass, guitar, curly, straight hair, and he's straight up walked out on jobs because if women can have a job and they can't, and I think that was at a record company. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for, that's ridiculous, but okay.
I was just like, are you kidding me?
I mean, it's so funny. Thanks for the call, Johnny. It is an interesting conversation because when you think about what is, what do they call that? Dress code. Mm-hmm. Like, in some businesses you can't show tattoos. They want you to wear long sleeves. In some places you can't wear shorts. You have to wear pants.
Colored hair. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like blue. And
I've had friends that have all these different color hair, purple hair, and they had to change their hair color if they wanted to work there. Mm-hmm. So now, but are you trying to tell me that people are saying that if you have an afro, you can't work somewhere?
Some people are being discriminated. Black people are being discriminated.
What about the redhead gingers that have the afros? Are they being discriminated as well?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Oh, Jeannie Agnew, man. She had curly, tight afro red hair.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is a win for people that want to keep their hair long too.
Yeah.
Because like guys that want to keep their hair long, they could say, well, you can't discriminate against me because of my hair because it's natural hair, right? It crosses.
So really now it's to the point where it doesn't matter what kind of hair you have. There should be no code of conduct against it.
Right.
And you should.
All of our hair can look like Cam Newton's hair. Have you seen Cam Newton's hair?
I saw it on Sunday when he took the helmet off. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
That's amazing.
Well, that's fine. Whatever. That makes everybody individually unique. Mm-hmm. If we all have the same haircut,
it makes it hard to walk through a door when you're 6'5" and you got hair that's another 8 inches on top of your head.
I'm not saying. I mean, I'm not okay with adding all these new laws and policies and taking up all this government funding. And you wonder why everybody's in debt and in deficit. But at the same time, it's like, I think, whatever. Express yourself. You should be able to have any kind of hair you want. Now, if it's a safety thing,
I've never looked at somebody's hair unless it was dirty.
If you work at a machine shop or a mill where there's heavy equipment and your hair's long, and they want you to put it up so it doesn't get caught in a machine and rip your head off,
what about
that makes sense.
What about food service? Have you even thought about food service? What kind of argument are they going to have when they say, hey, you got to wear a hairnet because it's food service?
Well, I don't care.
They're going to be like, nope, natural hair discrimination.
Right. Well, I don't care what they do in food service as long as the hair doesn't end up on my plate. As long as it doesn't end up on my plate.
Really bad hair day. Yeah,
you're putting gel in your hair as we're talking about this. And you have a big something about Mary moment happening on the front.
I know. My hair I need a haircut so
you got
bad.
A big clump of gel there.
I need a hair.
And now it smells like really cheap watermelon strawberry in here.
I don't know what to do.
Maybe buy your hair product from somewhere besides the dollar store.
This is my emergency supply.
93.3 KZOZ Rock.